According to Jerry Rutherford, an assistant professor in the School of Health Professions at the University of Alabama at Birmingham, wearing a mask is better than wearing a ventilator. In the midst of a global pandemic, it is expected for people out in public to follow protocols that prevent the spread of COVID-19. Because I am an employee and a manager at a chain pharmacy and store, I feel I am credible to discuss this topic. All customers and employees at any store or pharmacy should be required to follow the CDC's preventative protocols of wearing a mask in any public outing unless they have a legitimate medical reason not to. Wearing a mask in public greatly decreases and prevents the chances of spreading or contracting COVID-19. Stores and pharmacies that have strict protocols enforcing all customers and employees to put on a mask before entering the premises decrease the chances of spreading and contracting the virus. According to an interview conducted by the University of California, San Francisco, and a study published in Health Affairs, a mnemonic that Chin Hong likes is the 3 W's to ward off COVID-19: wearing a mask, washing your hands, and watching your distance. But of the three, the most important thing is wearing a mask, he said. Compared to wearing a mask, cleaning your iPhone or wiping down your groceries are just distractors. There is little evidence that formites containing surfaces or contaminated surfaces are a major source of transmission, whereas there is a lot of evidence of transmission through inhaled droplets, said Chin Hong. You should always wear masks and socially distance, said Rutherford. I would be hesitant to try to parse it apart, but yes, I think wearing a mask is more important. Wearing a mask in stores and pharmacies protect customers and employees alike from potentially contagious air droplets and germs. Being a customer or employee should mean more than a job and having a place to shop at. Both titles should mean the prioritization of the safety of all around you. In addition to wearing a mask in stores and pharmacies, the public should be educated on the proper types of masks to wear and those to avoid. According to the University of California, San Francisco's interview with epidemiologist Jerry Rutherford, MD, and infectious disease specialist Peter Chin Hong, MD, the best types of masks are ones that can be worn comfortably and consistently while still properly preventing the spread of COVID-19. While it may seem like any mask can prevent the spread of the virus, it is important to know what masks do not properly protect the person wearing the mask and others around them. However, both Rutherford and Chin Hong cautioned against N95 masks with valves, commonly used in construction to prevent the inhalation of dust, because they do not protect those around you. These one-way valves close when the wearer breathes in, but open when the wearer breathes out, allowing unfiltered air and droplets to escape. Chin Hong said that anyone wearing a valved mask would need to wear a surgical or cloth mask over it. Alternatively, just wear a non-valved mask, he said. Rutherford and Chin Hong also pointed out the value of cloth face masks for their user comfort and safety. In the beginning phases of COVID-19, the CDC discouraged the use of surgical face masks due to potential shortages for healthcare professionals. Although the CDC's protocol has changed since, and surgical face mask production can now supply both medical professionals and a majority of the public with masks, the CDC should have instead encouraged the use of cloth and reusable face masks in the beginning. Rutherford was more blunt. The legitimate concern that the limited supply of surgical masks and N95 respirators should be saved for healthcare workers and should not have prevented more nuanced messaging about the benefits of wearing masks. We should have told people to wear cloth face masks right off the bat, he said. Because of the legitimate and otherwise obvious evidence compiled over 2019 to 2020, the only situation in which a person should not have to wear a face mask while in public is if they have a legitimate medical reason not to. A majority of the population may not realize that they are a carrier of COVID-19 because they are asymptomatic or can justify their symptoms to pre-existing medical conditions such as allergies. According to the American Association of Retired Persons, or the AARP, some studies, including a paper recently published in the journal Nature, have found that over 40% of people with coronavirus infections never develop symptoms of COVID-19. This makes it extremely difficult to detect who is a potential transmitter of the virus, Waldman says. That is why wearing a mask, even if you believe you are healthy, is recommended both by the CDC and the World Health Organization. It's one way to prevent unknowingly spreading the virus to others, especially those who are more likely to become severely ill if infected by coronavirus. The only way we can confidently protect ourselves and those around us is to wear a mask in public, regardless of a positive or negative coronavirus test result. Enforcing the use of face masks in stores and pharmacies would ensure the safety of all personnel and customers, including those in the pharmacy with severe medical issues. Any person's health could be severely compromised if they were to contract COVID-19, especially older demographics and those with pre-existing medical conditions that can weaken their immune systems. The combination of these demographics and COVID-19 can result in death. These considerations should be extended and taught to all employees and customers of any store or pharmacy. Petitioning for the enforcement of masks will, at the very least, get the attention of the owners and employees of our local stores and pharmacies and increase the chances of making this hope a reality. This implementation should and would not be difficult to enforce, as individually owned shops and pharmacies have implemented policies like these without legal issues. The implementation should be enforced in all public stores and pharmacies. Making it an equal and fair implementation would decrease the spread of COVID-19 and increase the safety of employees and customers nationwide. Enforcing the use of masks in public stores and pharmacies would result in further implementation of the CDC's guidelines on safety in the midst of a global pandemic, correct education for those who refuse to wear a mask, and a decreased chance of contraction of COVID-19 for all those who enter stores. The studies above and all other information emphasize the importance of wearing a mask in public. While wearing a mask in stores and pharmacies protects not only you, your loved ones, and those around you, it also prevents the food and toiletries that you buy from being contaminated. Trust me, none of you want your food to be covered in pandemic-positive snot. Thank you.